2018, and we welcome you to Daybreak Nigeria on television Nigerian. It's your Daybreak show where we keep you updated with all the news and topical issues you need to know as Nigeria is concerned. I'm Eunice Johnson.
A very good morning to you. I'm Sandra Guana.
And we just want to start off the day on a surprising note, if you would say. I mean, first of all, we are looking at an issue which relates to the Senate. It's one of the news making the headlines. The Senate proposing to deduct funds from different MDAs. MDAs, we mean ministries, departments, and agencies to fund the 2019 election. That, I don't know how that sounds.
For me, it's not nice at all, because come to look at it, ASU just went on strike because they were not able to meet their demands. For them to decide that they want to remove the monies for us, the monies that they're supposed to give to ASU to settle that, to use for INEC, for me, that is not nice to hear.
Yeah, speaking of ASU, you know, the education sector was one of those sectors mentioned for the deduction. Yeah. And imagine removing a whopping sum of 10.238 billion naira from the education sector when they just, like she said, went on strike, and they're still struggling to get funds to meet up with some needs in that sector. It's quite heart-wrenching.
I know, and again, for me, I think these politicians, that the monies that they can even bring from their own pocket to do that, because on a very good day, there are so many things happening with our economy. So I don't see any reason why politicians will decide, or INEC will decide that it's from these monies that we are managing. Let's talk of electricity. They are bringing money from electricity, they are bringing money from agriculture, they are bringing money from education. They should go and rethink.
Yes, agriculture, which is supposed to be currently the mainstay, you want to remove 11 billion naira from the agricultural sector.
That is outrageous.
Quite disheartening, we must say. Let's move on to the AM news shortly after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome to the AM News. I am Eunice Johnson. The leader of the Islamic movement of Nigeria, Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaky, is to remain in the custody of the Department of State Service throughout the duration of his trial. Correspondent Nten Ekman has the details.
The presiding judge, Justice Gideon Gurada, adjourned the case to the 22nd of January 2019 for full-blown hearing. He, however, refused to grant the bail application of the accused person on the ground that there is no substantial reason to do so. Justice Gurada rather said what is of significance at the moment is accelerated trial on the matter. The prosecuting counsel, Dari Bayero, said the prosecutor had been ordered to produce witnesses for a full hearing on the 22nd of January 2019.
The court also ruled on the bail application filed by Malam's lawyers, and the court ruled that refusing the application for bail and directed that he should be kept by the security agencies pending the duration of his trial. So
which of the security agencies is it?
the DSS, yes.
So he remains behind bars?
He remains behind bars throughout the duration of the trial, and ordered accelerated hearing on the case. And adjourned to the 22nd of January for full-blown hearing. The prosecution has been ordered to produce most of the witnesses for to testify in support of the charge we filed before the court.
The defense counsel Maxwell Keon stated that they are considering appealing the judgment of the court on bail application, citing the ill health of his client.
Medical attention, in our view, very urgently. It is for this reason, like I've said, that we are still discussing and considering the possibility of taking further steps in respect of bail, probably filing an appeal, before the Court of Appeal in respect of that matter, so that we'll see if it's possible to get bail, bringing an application before the Court of Appeal.
Assured Nigerians that the Nigeria Air Force is working in synergy with other security agencies to secure the lives and property of all citizens in the country. Again, correspondent Nten Epang completes the report.
The Air Force boss gave the assurance while on a visit to Birnin Gwari to assess the security situation in that community. Air Marshal Abubakar also pledged the commitment of the Nigerian Air Force in ensuring Birnin Gwari is safe for the people to go about carrying out their normal activities. He further said the Air Force is widening the areas of their operation to Birnin Gwari in order to protect the citizens from any security challenge.
You and your people, that the Nigerian Air Force will work round the clock with our other sister services here. The Nigerian Army is here already, and other security agencies, to ensure that the Birnin Gwari area is secured and the people are able to go about their businesses without any fears.
Emir of Birnin Gwari, Zubairu Jibrin, expressed confidence in the efforts of the present administration to curb the security challenges currently confronting the country.
We know that all the security agencies in the country, with their visit now, the picture is complete. The Chief of Air Staff is here with me. The Chief of Army Staff was here. The Inspector General of Police was here. We are very sure that the federal government and our state government are doing everything to make sure that this part of the country and every part of the country is security free.
President Muhammadu Buhari had received a highly anticipated report from the committee's chairman, Ama Pepple, on Tuesday, but the presidency obviously denied Buhari's endorsement of 30,000 naira minimum wage. To this effect, our correspondent Nguemo Anaginde went to the streets of Abuja to gather the opinions of Nigerians on the controversial minimum wage. Her report.
The presidency on Tuesday said President Muhammadu Buhari remarks when he received the report of the tripartite committee on the review of national minimum wage was misinterpreted by the media. Let's find out on the streets of Abuja what they have to say.
A presidential source who preferred not to be disclosed said the president did not endorse 30,000 naira as proposed by the committee, as reported by some sections of the media.
Well, before I answer that, I'm not a politician, but he should accept it for other good things to move on in Nigeria.
Sure, it will affect his 2019 election in the sense of the workers, they are the citizens of the country, and they are the people that will vote for him in 2019 election.
Standing on the heels of the report presented by Ms. Pepple, who chaired the committee, the report was predicated on the high cost of having occasion by the exchange rate as well as the rising inflation rate in the country.
Increment in workers' salary without good policies in the pricing commodity in our commodities in the market, I think it will be counterproductive, because if workers' salaries are increased without working for good policies on price, to curb how pricing is being monitored in the market, where these same workers will go to the market, buy commodities at very exorbitant prices. You know, to an extent, I think the money or the increment will not be seen. But if at all this is worked upon, where the prices of commodities are brought down in the market, that is when the value of that 30,000 naira they are demanding for will work out. But if these prices will not be worked upon and the increment is still there, increment of worker salary is there, the price of commodities in the market are still, you know, increasing, I think is not too good. And at the tail end, the government may not, the people may not really satisfactorily achieve what they are aiming for. Because I believe with time, in the next 2-3 years from now, the workers will still be demanding for increment.
Yes, I support it. I want it to be increased because our youth are suffering. Even me, as a mother, I'm suffering. So if they increase it for the youth, at least everybody will benefit from there.
I heard about the 30,000 naira minimum wage agreed by the committee, including the NLC. It's a welcome idea, but the problem is that as I'm standing before you, I'm a taxi driver here, but I'm a pensioner in NEPA. I want to tell you that in 1983, when I joined NEPA, my salary could not be able to reach up to 100 naira. It's laughable. It doesn't reach 100 naira. It is after my toiling overtime that my salary can be up to 120 naira. But today, we are talking about 25,000 or 30,000. And that time that I'm telling you, even though if they pay me 100 naira, I will buy a bag of rice at 20 naira. Things were very cheap comparing with the level of the minimum wage by then. But today is a different thing. Even today, even a worker to come out and say he earns 18,000 naira per month, I think in my mind, how will he live? Even now that we are talking about 30,000 naira, my dear, 30,000 naira today, what is a bag of rice? What is the school fees for a common man that might have more than 3 children? What about the house rent of today? Everything you buy in market, including water. Even in my area where I reside, you buy water to do everything. There's no water, no thing, no electricity. So even 30,000 naira, if the government can agree with the labor, I think is a good start.
So far, those were the reactions we gathered on the streets of Abuja. So let's keep our fingers crossed to see what happens in the next 2 weeks. Nkwemo Anagende, TVN News.
Explicit report there from Nkwemo Anagende. Moving on, Academic Staff Union of Universities on Sunday declared a nationwide strike during its National Executive Committee meeting at the Federal University of Technology, Akure. It said that Nigerian universities and the entire education sector were poorly funded and also alleged plans by the federal government to increase tuition fees and reintroduce an education bank. Our correspondent Uchechi Lemuwa sampled some mixed reactions that trailed the indefinite strike action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The report.
Following the indefinite strike action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities due to non-implementation of Memorandum of Understanding signed with the federal government, this is what Nigerians have to say. According to Mr. Adansen Kubi, it's important for government to have a roundtable and proper solution to the strike issue.
So my take on this ASU strike is that these people are the one imparting the knowledge into our potential leaders of tomorrow. And as such, the government is to see to their plights. Having a round table, I think, is the most important thing. Coming to a consensus that is to the point that the teachers or the lecturers, the staff union are not affected negatively, the government is not also affected negatively. Now, meeting to their needs is very, very important so that they go back to their classrooms they go back to their responsibilities to see how they train these leaders of tomorrow, because by the time we are able to have a sound education system in Nigeria, I think the future is secured.
Vera expressed how ASUU strike adversely affects the education system. According to her, government should look into the matter as students are the future of tomorrow.
I have a couple of friends in government university and they experienced ASUU strike, especially Benue State University. So I have a friend there, so he was going to his 300 level, he was actually in 200 level before the ASUU strike clashed into, and he stayed at home for like a month. That month he stayed at home, he would have been in his 300 level. Due to the ASUU strike and everything, he was at home for like 5 months or so, going to a year safe, and he was still at home, still 200 level. So those days he stayed at home, he would have been in his 200 level because he just have two semesters and all that.
Other respondents expressed their various concerns on the matter.
I did not see anything wrong with ASUU going on strike if what they are asking the federal government is legal. The late President Umaru Yar'Adua made so many promises before his death.